Hello, it's Alessandra here. Welcome back and thank you for dropping by and listening to my readings. Today is a 4 day in numerology, so we're going into a number 4 month, which is April. And I think we will have a look at not so much the day as we are living it today, because that's about focus, but also the month of April. Let's see what cards come through to tell us possibly what will be happening during the month of April, starting from today. Now, today, number 4 means the Emperor. The Emperor is someone who organizes, focuses on the outcome rather than what is going on right now. And so we're being invited to do just that. It's about building, but building something that you don't need to actually see, like putting together the plans for a house. You don't have the house in front of you, but you're able to see it on the design. So that's what we're doing today, focusing. So let's see what happens in April. I'm just going to shuffle my Osho Zen cards and see what card comes through. Just picking one. Oh, nice. Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, very interesting. So as you can see, the card is very interesting. In the background, you have a figure in a position of meditation, and then everything is like thunderbolts and people dropping out, and there's fire along all the chakras. So the Kundalini awakening, and this usually represents the tower moment where things just fall apart and then you have to pick yourself up. So on an individual level, this is saying to you today, there is a moment in time where possibly in April or even now, you are seeing things and you start opening up to a truth that you hadn't seen before. Aha moments, people waking up to their own spiritual journey or finding truths that they had not seen before. So considering our current situation globally, this can actually mean an opening up. Yes, a thunderbolt, like a cracking point, and April presents itself with a lot of things happening. And some of them may be pleasant, some of them may not, depending on how we live them and how we've done our work. So if you're in a space where you need to let go of things, this month will bring about a lot of letting go, a lot of resurfacing of wounds and new truths coming through, new boundaries being created. But it looks like the whole current situation is going to sort of explode in a certain way. Now, I'm looking at it in a positive because I always consider that whatever happens, it's a movement forward. So no matter what happens, where we find ourselves in the month of April, it means that there is a breakthrough and there is an opening that we then need to look at, because it will create a lot of divergence. And even though it will create a benefit for us in the long term, in the moment in April, we will find a lot of cracks that open up, that the darkness is sort of released with light, because the light will go into every crevice and then it sort of pushes out anything that's darkness. So surfacing of things. Usually it's also about your internal sort of clearing of your chakras, your units of energy, which means letting go of lessons or those areas of life where you haven't actually done some work or you need more healing. So it's like an onion peeling away till we find the core. This is a 0 point moment card, and it means that we will have to face a 0 point situation, not necessarily drastic, but simply it's going to come to a sort of a juncture where there is a decision that needs to be made. All in all, it's a very positive card because it presents itself, it's just happening. It's not really in your control, so just be prepared to go with it, embrace it rather than pushing against it. April seems to be coming through quite strongly. Okay, I'm going to pick another card. Just put that one there so it doesn't fall and see what happens. Let me see what else the cards say to me. Okay, just pick another card. Ah, nice. Rebirth. Now, I'm going to put them together because look at how they appear together. This is the destruction of the old, basically, the corruption of the darkness, the light coming through, letting go of all those wounds and people, events and situations, finding new truth about yourself, about the world, about all those things that you that were hidden. And then there's a rebirth. Perfect. So see, this card may show itself as a bit dramatic, but then we have a rebirth out of the ashes. So whatever happens here, then the ashes of that will produce a new birth. It's like putting on a new dress, putting on a new personality, changing the energy around you. So whatever you believe you are in this moment, here, totally new. A lot of evolution. So even as a global community, as a global family, we are being brought into a point of breaking, 0 point, then there's a rebirth. There's a possibility for us to come anew, to create new life, and to put ourselves in a condition where we are then looking at the ashes and we're coming through them renewed, but we no longer have the same sort of traits. We no longer have the same beliefs, and there's new possibilities coming through. There is leadership. There is obviously a moment of truth that has to be understood, and then there's a rebirth. How that rebirth will happen is dependent on how we accept this sort of thunderbolt. Are we going to let it override everything, or are we willing to step out of the ashes as quickly as we can and start that healing and that rebirth? A very good card for the month of April. It seems like we're walking towards something that all of a sudden will appear before us, put us in front of what we need to see, what we need to hear, what we need to feel in an abrupt way. But that can happen individually, but also collective. And then this is the rebirth. Very good for April. I love these two cards. I will pick a third card because when I see these, like there needs to be some sort of progress from it. So I'll pick a third card and see where that one will take us. So again, with my cards, I'll just shuffle and see what else comes through. Okay. Adventure. Now, isn't that perfect? It looks really, really good. So let's look at them all together. I'm really surprised, but not necessarily. I say this all the time. Sorry if I repeat myself. So look at these cards. We go from the thunderbolt to the rebirth and then the adventure. Just like a child, when they start learning to walk, they are very curious and they want to know things. They touch everything, and they've got this sense of curiosity. This is what this card is inviting us to do. So here's the rebirth, right? So we'll be a bit fragile and vulnerable through that, that thunderbolt. Then the rebirth, you're picking yourself up and you don't really know what's happening. There's a sort of logical understanding that there will be some sort of adjustment that will need to happen, transition. But then we have the adventure. The adventure is, look at this card. It's such a beautiful card because it shows you a child. So we turn ourselves into that curiosity that the child has, the adventurous nature that a child has, because it's innocent. It is sort of exploring the world, and that's what we're doing. Our rebirth will then be an exploration of what is possible and what we can. Not necessarily we know what's possible, but we are walking in a direction where there's a sort of a light just guiding us and inspiring us and stimulating us to move forward. That beautiful light of adventure. I think we all need to go back to that. We've lost a bit of that. Actually, we've lost a lot of it. And these two cards, they are an indication of how April can present itself. But then this is what the card also is, the month of April will present to us. A movement forward where we are following a curiosity, a sort of a stimulation to know what else there is available to us. And like learning to be children again and exploring the world rather than taking it for granted. And this thunderbolt has come through that taking it for granted. I think these are beautiful cards together, and I think I am looking forward actually to the month of April. And today, as a number 4 day, I think my focus will be in actually seeing this happen, but also putting in my own sort of curiosity to see the best coming forward, and the rebirth being a positive for everyone. So beautiful energy today in the cards. And I thank you all for dropping by and listening to my videos of my readings. And I hope they do help you, because they just bring messages that may touch you in many areas of your life, not necessarily with the outward concept of the global community, but your own individual life. And they may empower you, and that's what I hope they do. And definitely this is empowering me to continue. And thank you till next time.